Welcome back to the latest episode where we catch up with our Irish AFLW players. And this week we are delighted to be joined all the way from Perth and from Fremantle Dockers by Orla Lally. How's it going, Orla?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Great, very good. Delighted to talk to you. How's yourself after a hectic weekend?
Yeah, good. Had a nice day off today, just recovery, so well rested and ready to go again.
Ready to go again? Well, can you believe it? I suppose literally it feels like a few weeks ago, but it was a few months ago we were kicking a Sharon in Athboy up in County Meath. Now you're in Perth, you're a professional AFLW player, you've played 6 games of AFLW already. Has it sunk in the reality of your new life?
Oh, like it is slowly, but I feel like only when I go home and realize everything that's happened, like in such a short space of time, it'll really hit then.
For definite. Well, look at you. Talk about being thrown in at the deep end. You played in the All Ireland with Meath. You won. Congratulations! Brilliant to do two in a row. You were off celebrating. Literally 2 days later, you were on a plane to Perth. So you didn't have much time to adjust.
No, no, it was it was extremely fast, but thanks to you and I suppose the other Irish girls, um having a few sessions at home really helped. And then even just keeping in contact with the club before coming over, it kind of just let everything sail smoothly and a nice smooth transition over.
Definitely a smooth transition it was, and of course, we would have met and chatted with Mum and Dad, John and Nora, as part of the process before he came over. They're over in Perth now. I'm hearing they've no notions of coming home. You're delighted to have them in Oz with you for a while.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. I suppose it's really good for them and nice for them to see where I am and what I'm at, and even just bringing them into the club and seeing the facilities there and meeting my teammates and everything like that. It's really special for them, and I suppose comforting for them too, knowing that I'm safe over the other side of the world.
Yeah, fantastic. And have they enjoyed getting along to the couple of games so far?
Yeah, they've really enjoyed it. Not that they know probably exactly what's going on, but even just the atmosphere and I suppose just getting to see the game and how we play and the setup, they enjoyed every minute of it.
And of course, we mentioned already, it's round six, done and dusted. You've played all 6 games so far in the season, which is absolutely fantastic. So we mentioned earlier, been thrown into the deep end. You definitely were. Could you believe when you got the call to play in round one after literally arriving in Perth a couple of weeks previously for that first debut against Brisbane Lions?
I suppose I didn't really know. I didn't know what to expect. I really wanted to play round one. I suppose my competitive side was coming out at home. I was just constantly practicing, and I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure um that I'm in with a chance of playing round one. But I suppose being told and it actually coming true was absolutely amazing. Thrown in at the deep end is definitely putting it lightly. I hadn't a clue what was going on at some stages, but yeah, no, I was privileged and so happy to make my debut on round one.
And of course, that first game was an interstate trip as well. So not only was it your first match, it was your first interstate trip where you got to fly away with the team and that. Have you been getting used to the comings and goings and the flying in and out to games and stuff like that?
I'm not quite sure if I'd say getting used to it, but adapting would be the word. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I had flown over, and then obviously round one was Brisbane, which is the longest flight,
Yeah.
away from all our journeys. So, my body clock was definitely a bit all over the place. I didn't know what end of me was up, but yeah, no, I you just have to kind of deal with it and get on with it. But yeah, I suppose I am getting a bit more used to it, and it's very enjoyable getting to go to the other states and seeing a bit of Australia.
Of course, yeah, that's the benefit. You get to see a few other cities and a few other teams and stuff like that. And you get to meet some of the other Irish players as well. We'll come to that in a minute. But coming back to that first game, I suppose then like you were in action so quickly. What was literally in that first match? What was the hardest thing to get used to, or what was going through your head in terms of the structures and the rules? Like, was it all a bit of a chaotic blur?
Yeah, like even thinking back on it, I'm like, I can barely remember what even happened. Um, but I suppose I was kind of trying to keep it simple by just staying on my player. I was a back then, so I wasn't even I wasn't a forward, so I was just kind of focusing on my role and just kind of keeping to the basics of hard work and staying on my player, doing nothing fancy or spectacular. But yeah, no, I was lucky as well with the coaches and the girls around me. They all helped me as best they could.
And of course, that's 6 games ago. You've played all 6 games since, which is absolutely phenomenal achievement. The first 4 rounds were in defence, in the backs. For round 5, you got moved up to the forwards. And for most watching here at home and for everyone, it was a bit of a breakout game for you, effectively your best game of the season. Was that a coincidence, or did you really like enjoy the forward role? Do you think that suits you better, or have you adopted to that better?
Yeah, I think the forward role is probably a bit less pressure as regards giving away 50s and stuff like that. But yeah, I think naturally it comes a bit easier to me because of my attacking role with Mead and um just kind of a bit more of a free role of just being able to go out and play without having to worry about your player scoring.
Yeah, and of course the Aussies are big on their stats, and AFLW is big on their stats. And we've seen you flying it with contested marks, 4 in the last game, 3 before that, 2 before that. So that really seems to be one of the strong points of your game. Are you enjoying that kind of physical contest for the ball and taking those marks?
Yeah, really enjoying that. I suppose I'm lucky with the base I had with Meads that I have that strength there. But yeah, really enjoying that. And I suppose sometimes I go up for the ball, forgetting that I'm going to get taken to the ground in a few seconds. So sometimes it's just instinct. People will be looking at me as if to say, Jesus, she just going to go for the ball. And then I realize I'm on the floor a few minutes after. But yeah, no, really enjoying that. And I suppose again, I'm just lucky with the skills from home that I can bring over and help me play.
Fantastic. And of course, you mentioned there earlier the Irish players. The Dockers have most Irish players in the competition at the moment with the 3 girls. We had a lot of sessions here at home in Ireland with Anya, and I know that helped get you prepared to head over. But what's it like playing with Anya and, of course, Amy Mulholland and to have the 3 Irish players at the Dockers?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. They're two amazing girls, and I was so lucky to have them when I was coming over. I actually lived with Amy for the first couple of weeks, till my place was ready, in my new house. But the girls have been outstanding, and Anya has just been scoring goals left, right, and centre. She's she's a fantastic role model, and the work that she does, even with the clubs, is absolutely amazing. And she's really promoted AFL and Frio and around for younger kids coming up.
Yeah, look, it's fantastic to see Anya doing so well. Obviously, she did a few tough years before she got to play there with her injuries and that, but she is absolutely flying it. And in fairness, all the Irish Dockers are. And you're definitely enjoying running around in your new purple kit anyway.
Oh yeah, lovely color, so it is.
And come here, in terms of the season itself, obviously it was a tough start to the season for the Dockers. We know the squad has been hit with serious injuries and lost a number of key players in that. But it's the momentum seems to have turned a bit now. You had a draw a couple of weeks ago. You had a win last week, the first win of the season, which was brilliant. Um, this weekend was a really tough game against Melbourne, but again, you were probably right in it until 3/4 time, just before Melbourne pulled away in the end. So, does it feel like things are starting to come together a bit for the Dockers?
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, we had some big injuries there at the start of the year. We were really unfortunate with big players. I suppose as well we've had so many new players. It takes a bit of time for teams to gel and girls to get to know each other on a level on the pitch and everything like that. So, like, I think there's a lot of potential there. and you can see it in each game. It's kind of growing and coming together that bit more. So I definitely am I'm positive for the future.
Yeah, and look at it, it's flying by. There's only a few more rounds to go. It's crazy to think how fast it's actually going. Did you get a chance to catch up with any of the Irish demons after the game at the weekend, Blaine or Goldie, or do you have that opportunity at matches to even say hello to the other Irish players?
Yeah, I was lucky actually when we were in Melbourne. I got to meet up with Blahin, so it was nice to meet her for a coffee instead of on the Gaelic pitch. um, so yeah, it was lovely to catch up with her. And then I was talking to Goldie after the game. I was making sure she's keeping an eye on that Vicky Wall one over.
I'm sure, absolutely. I'm sure Vicky's flying as well. The Meath girls are all flying, in fairness. I look at life in general. You're living in Perth, a new city, a new experience. The weather is probably the best up there of all the parts in Australia to meet. How are you enjoying life in Perth?
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I suppose I was big into swimming when I was younger, so the beach life is suiting me over here. I absolutely love going down, and I suppose again, the girls that I've all made friends with, they're all kind of showing me around, and it's a beautiful, beautiful part of the country. So I'm just, I suppose, blessed to have the opportunity to be over here and trying to make the most of every minute.
For sure, and it is absolutely fantastic, and we're very jealous over here. Did I see you surfing the other day? Was there a surfboard and you were out catching a few waves?
I'd say trying to, not maybe not surfing, but trying to.
Yeah, you got to give it a go. Sure, you have to try all these Aussie experiences, and even going back a few weeks where you were tasting Vegemite and all that in at the club, they're getting you to do it all over there.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a few things that I've been trying over here, but getting used to them all.
That's it. Well, look at it. It's fantastic to chat with you and fantastic to catch up, Orla. And best of luck across the next few weeks for the rest of the season. And I'm sure we'll see plenty more brilliant performances from you and the Dockers. But thanks a million for taking the time to have a quick chat with us.
Not at all. Thank you.